in community and in partnership with Chelsea and Everett. I'm so grateful that both of these cities are in the Massachusetts 7th. And we have come around this table a number of times when I have come having advanced federal funding, like the $300,000 for La Collaborativa for workforce development, like the funds that were delivered to support Main Street. That number escapes me, but I know it's a robust one. I'll get it before I... Okay, $2 million. There we go. Okay, $2 million. And today we're celebrating a $750,000 investment. Let me hear y'all say that. $750,000. All right. The Massachusetts 7th, this is a vibrant, diverse, dynamic district, one of the most unequal in the country, the most unequal, arguably, in our congressional delegation. And that is certainly as the result of what I would consider an under-resourcing, a divesting, a lack of prioritization for our most marginalized communities. And so I hope, Chelsea and Everett, and that very often you feel left behind or overlooked, that these consistent investments are evidence of what we can accomplish together, but also reiterate my commitment to you to always fight for you. You are worthy and deserving of investment. And as I've said many times before, sometimes during, particularly when there was so much money coming in for COVID, and some people said, we have more than we know what to do with. And I always say, well, let me take it to Chelsea. Let me take it to Everett. They know what to do with it. So here we are. The last time we were together, specifically around this project, we were making the case. And now we get to celebrate the investment, and I get to learn from all of you what progress has already been made. So again, good morning, and thank you everyone for joining me here today in celebration of the $750,000 federal investment that we secured to advance a regional flood resilience plan to protect the cities of Chelsea and Everett. Thank you to the City of Everett, Mayor DeMaria, for his partnership on this project. Thank you to Chelsea City Manager Maltez and leadership staff for participating in today's conversation, and all my colleagues in government, as we come together and collectively celebrate this investment in federal dollars for the cities of Chelsea and Everett. The Island End River Regional Coastal Flood Resiliency Project is an investment in the people of Chelsea and Everett as we work towards combating decades of environmental injustice and the growing climate crisis, which we know falls disparately on the shoulders of the most vulnerable. Chelsea and Everett are cities more vulnerable in other parts of my district, like East Boston and Roxbury, more vulnerable to extreme heat and also sea level rise. These cities within the Massachusetts 7th Congressional District are home to a diverse, multicultural community. The cities of Chelsea and Everett are overwhelmingly comprised of Black, brown, and immigrant families, over 5,000 of whom live in the Island End River floodplain. Moreover, these cities are home to numerous food distribution, energy, and other industrial infrastructure of paramount importance to the region's economy, the entire region. That was, in researching this, it was wonderful to get that education about this formidable role that you play in our economy. We're in a time of climate crisis. The impacts of climate change are not some futuristic threat. Climate change is here, climate change is now, and the threats are ongoing. We are being confronted by them daily, and we must continue to act before it is too late. This is an existential threat. We have a responsibility and an obligation to take the action necessary to confront the climate crisis head on, protect future generations. Policymakers at all levels of government must prioritize robust investment to make our communities more climate resilient, and environmental justice has to be at the forefront of those investments and that work. The impacts of climate change are truly intersectional. They affect our public health, they affect our economy, as well as our national security. These resources are a direct investment in our young people, our families, and our communities, and they are the type of bold, intersectional investments that we should be making in the future. This project will help address the growing flood risk for frontline communities in Chelsea and Everett. I look forward to discussing the project's impact in greater detail today. Okay. Again, I take immense pride in our collective efforts and have always maintained when it comes to community project funding, once called earmarks, that this is a demonstration of the best kind of collaborations and partnership. Those efforts that are community driven and led, but government endorsed and invested in. And that's exactly how we should be working. You all should be being the pace setters and informing for us really what you need and what is most important. And so I thank you all for your collaborations, and I look forward to today's important discussion. All right. So why don't we just go around the table. I know everyone here, but for the purposes of media, and we're so encouraged by this incredible showing today. Why don't we just go around the table, each person say your name, affiliation, and then if you would like to offer anything about the project, because I want to better understand what this has yielded so far.
Well, good morning, everyone. Noria Liz de Jesus, President of the Chelsea City Council, Representative of District 3. I'm
still going to clap. I don't get tired of it.
Well, I'll just start off before saying anything, my appreciation for your relentless and just continued advocacy for our community. You really have never turned your back on Chelsea, and I am so grateful for your leadership. It's because of you that we get to do these celebrations and that we've had so many celebrations in the past few years. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I will say that one of the biggest highlights for me, and shout out to Green Roots for their leadership, for me to see, that type of leadership that connects the community to the movement, making sure that they're not just part of the conversation, but they're leading it. That's the type of work that I love to see. So thank you guys for the work that you do. And one of the biggest highlights of this project for me, Congresswoman, is the jobs that we're saving, the jobs that we're protecting, the jobs that connect to our families, being able to put food on the table, being able to keep a roof over their heads, and we have not completely recovered from the crisis with COVID. Our families are still trying to make ends meet. If anything, it's gotten worse. You can see it in our food lines. You can see it at our city hall. Our city manager receives our families on a nonstop. And so making sure that we are not working on these things in silos and always connecting and working together to make sure that we are getting the best for our families in this time of need.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, our city manager.
Thank you for coming today and for joining us. I've had the privilege of being involved in this project since the inception. So and it is going back probably a good 5 years, right? This idea of this concept of not building a barrier or a seawall, but reinforcing our infrastructure in a way that provides community benefits as well.
Yes.
And this is it's such a visionary project because it touches on so many aspects of what Chelsea needs. Environmental justice is very close to my heart and very close to our family. It is something that we talk about on a regular basis, and it is the idea that Chelsea does not have the option to retreat. We cannot move inland, right? Our families are here, our businesses are here, and Chelsea, we carry more than our fair share of a burden that is helping our neighbors and our region. And this example is one example of us getting more than our fair share, of benefits. It's a bold project. It's a project that is visionary, and it is a project that we couldn't do alone. And I know that the city of Everett couldn't do alone either. It has a price tag of $66 million, and again, it's not a project that without your support and without the future grants that we're hoping to obtain would be a reality. Thank you.
Well, and I'll clap again because you're still new in your role. And I do want to say, and I mean this for both cities, but I want to give a specific example with Chelsea, just like with the Universal Basic Income Program. Chelsea, cities like Chelsea and Everett are tiny but mighty. These become incredible places to pilot things, to blueprint things that are an inspiration and instructive for our Commonwealth, and I could argue even our country. So I like to hear words like visionary when we're talking about Chelsea and Everett, and so very excited, and just know that this is no one-off. You have my continued commitment and support until this project is fully actualized.
Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Emily Granoff. I'm a senior planner with Chelsea's Department of Housing and Community Development, and I'm the project manager for Island and River for Chelsea, along with my counterpart from Everett. And I would just want to echo what you said about the essential regional infrastructure in this district. I didn't know until I started working on this project that the New England Produce Distribution Center, which is in the top left of the map right behind you, like really right next to Island and River, provides produce for everyone in New England all the way up to Canada. Like, if you are having fresh produce that you get at a grocery store, it came through the New England Produce Center. And if we don't build this wall, if we don't complete this bold and visionary project, then when we see the coastal flooding we're going to see in 2070, that facility will be severely impacted. We have some flood maps behind you as well that we can get into later in the conversation, but it really just shows you the scale of the flooding that we're working to prevent, and we're doing it proactively, and we're doing it collaboratively with our community and with Everett, and it's just such a wonderful project to get to work on because everyone is pulling together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I'm Ben Cares. This is actually my first day as the Director of Housing and Community Development.
Do you want to wave to your family or anything?
However, I did work on this project for 3.5 years as Chelsea's senior planner, so I'm not a newbie. I'm a veteran for this project. I can echo a lot of what's already been stated about the intersectionality of this project. It's not just a coastal barrier. This is about people's work. It's about people's lives. There's so many assets in this floodplain that we're protecting with this project. And I do want to thank, the state, the MVP program, and other programs that have helped fund the progress that we've made to date for this project. It's put it in a really competitive place, I think, for additional federal funding. And I think out of the myriad of coastal projects within this region, it's one of the most important. And I really appreciate, on a personal and a professional level, the focus that your office has given it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. I'm Lisa Santigate, and I am the City Councilor for District 5. Forgive me, I have a bad cold. And I actually texted the city manager earlier and said, I don't know how much I can speak, but can I come and look supportive?
It's okay, no pressure, no pressure.
But as someone who was born and raised here, whose family emigrated from Italy in the early 1900s, and lived within sight of the Chelsea River, I have seen the area change over the past 60 years, and I really like what you said about the people, because around this table are all the people that have been working for Chelsea for decades, and to finally shine a light on what is happening and to give us resources is very special. I've been talking about Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea for my whole life, and people, all friends, say, you and Chelsea, what is it with you and Chelsea? This is what it is with me and Chelsea. So thank you for everything, and thank you for recognizing all the work that people have been doing for so long to try to help everyone else see how special we are, and Everett as well.
Well, very, very well put. I mean, I shudder to think what you would offer if you were feeling 100%. Beautifully put. Okay.
Hi everyone, State Representative Judith Garcia. I have the honor to represent Everett and Chelsea, and today is an incredible special day. Congresswoman Pressley, you are a woman of impact, You bring people together from Everett, from Chelsea, from nonprofit to public sector to discuss something that's so important for us. You've brought funding that is vital. It's addressing an issue that has an impact. We talk about climate change and we talk about the impacts of it, but this really shows us what can happen if we do not act now. There's urgency, and you're here because you understand the urgency. And this has been said before. All the property around, all the businesses around, they are worth nothing if they're underwater. So these sources are vital, and I thank you for that. And it's up to us to work collaboratively to make sure that we continue and that we actually see the success of this project. So thank you so much, and I'm committed
Well,
as a
thank
state.
you, Red. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
John Walker, Director of Climate Justice and Waterfront Initiatives at
Great
Green
to
Roots.
see you.
And
It's a great day for you all. Yes, yeah.
it's fantastic to see this finally moving forward, and the amount of work and knowing the amount of cat juggling that went into all the different funding sources that are going into this. And I think, having grown up in the area and gone to high school just over at Ed Markey's alma mater at Malden Catholic, the gym teachers used to yell at us and say, like, get going or they're going to find you floating down Chelsea Creek. The reputation of Chelsea years ago was not the best. And we are now in a place where this project represents something that is not only something that's great for Chelsea, great for the region infrastructure, but it also speaks to a model that is applicable for an example for the whole area.
Exactly.
In terms of federal government, state government. There have been grants from the state on MVP grants. There's been money coming from all over the place, charitable foundations. There's 2 different municipal governments working on this particular project, and I do want to give a shout out to the Mystic River Watershed Association, who has helped bring so many groups together to really realize something that crosses over boundaries. We don't really have county government like they do in other parts of the country here. It's a bunch of little kingdoms unto themselves. And so to see folks coming together and working from the community through all those levels of government to really a complicated amount of funding and figuring out how do you put it all together for the benefit of everyone has been fantastic to watch and fantastic to be a part of. And your support of that is critical to it happening. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Long overdue. Yeah.
My name is Bianca Navarro Bowman. I'm the Climate Justice Manager at Green Roots. Work with John Walkie and a lot of people at this table.
Thank you, Green.
And the part that I've had in this project has just been the privilege of connecting with community members and making sure that they're who are at the forefront of this project. And I haven't had a chance to talk to the people that are in charge of the industrial use or the businesses, but I really get to work with the residents that are here and get to connect them with all the other project managers at this table and kind of keep their perspectives and experiences at the forefront. And so to be here today is really exciting for me to be able to kind of be a representative for all of the folks that are actually experiencing the flooding already and experiencing extreme heat, as you mentioned, and are really the ones that are leading our work in focusing on climate resilience in Chelsea and Everett. That's been really beautiful for me to be a part of, and it's incredible to have this connection with you and see all of this support coming down from the federal government. And yeah, so I just appreciate all of the work that you've done and the work that everyone here has done to connect all of us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate Green Roots. Green Roots has been the canary in the coal mine on so many issues that now people finally have a real understanding as to their health and economic impacts, and so we thank you. All right.
Hi, my name is Patrick Johnston, and I am the project manager in Everett, Emily's counterpart. And for me, the highlight of this project is the environmental justice issues. The opportunity to engage and empower our residents on such a far-sighted issue is important. And Everett and Chelsea have been known as, sort of the breadbasket of industry and perhaps of late a casino, but truly we've borne the brunt from this and many other things. And this opportunity is thanks to you, this opportunity to engage our residents and empower them. So thank you.
Thanks to you. Thanks to the collective, here. So, again, very exciting. And thank you for your good work on this project.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to
Good
see
morning.
you.
It's nice to see you as well. Good morning, everyone. I'm Erin Devaney. I am Mayor DeMaria's Chief of Staff in Everett, and he regrets that he can't be here because in his role, he's usually the one pounding on doors and asking people for assistance. He doesn't usually have as much opportunity as he likes to say thank you, and really the Congresswoman deserves a lot of thanks. Because when we think about the issues that are in all of our communities, that only magnifies how many demands are placed on you to be able to decide which projects you have the opportunity to advocate for. So it's really testament to you having the vision and the understanding of the needs in our two communities to put this forward and be your tireless advocate. So first and foremost, thank you for that. This is an opportunity, as everyone here has shown, we have a collective vision. Very often, communities are forced to compete against one another for resources. But this project shows that we can come together at the federal, at the state, and at the local level with support from private organizations, nonprofits, and most importantly, the residents, both individual and business and community residents, to put our ideas and our collective lobbying muscle behind what matters most in our communities. And for Mayor DeMaria, that is about recognizing the well-established businesses and economic and employment engines that are in this impacted floodplain area, recognizing the contributions they've made to our communities historically, preserving that economic way of life, while also recognizing that if we don't take on these big vision projects, we won't have the opportunity for growth, for instance, that Everett is poised to have. So thank you again to the Congresswoman for her leadership at the federal level, but we do appreciate this as the epitome of what we can accomplish and the good work that we all are able to do when we come together with a shared passion and a shared vision.
You can represent the mayor any day.
Thank you.
You did an incredible job, and you're better looking.
I'll keep that between us.
Can they edit that?
That's totally what they're going to run with, actually.
Yeah.
But he knows it's all in good fun. But I do appreciate that the word visionary has been said time and time again because, I think it is so important, given the inflection point that we're at. During the pandemic, everyone talked about a light being shown on these systemic inequities and disparities and injustices. And while we're still recovering, the point is that we shouldn't default to an unjust status quo. If those injustices were made more plain and they've only worsened, to me what that says is we have to advance solutions that go as broad and as deep as the hurt. And that does mean challenging status quo and traditional responses and doing things in an unprecedented fashion because the challenges are unprecedented. So the solutions have to be unprecedented. And I think very often when we have come together with these sorts of bold proposals, people can react as if it's very pie in the sky. In no way possible. But you are proving that we can be visionary, we can be bold, we can be collaborative in addressing these unprecedented challenges. And most of all, we can be successful. Yeah. So thank you all so very much. Are there any other? I know Councilor Robinson was here. I think he might have just stepped out.
Councilor Tisch.
Yes, would you like to say anything as well?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
so my name is Manal Tashley. I'm the district counselor for District 7. District
Wonderful.
Council for District 7.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. I have to say, over the years, I've seen the discourse on the climate change, around the country, and I've seen there's still lots of people that don't believe it. And it's very concerning, but I'm just glad and reassured to see that here in Chelsea, we don't have that problem. And we're actually getting our hands dirty and
Yes.
work and see this project, and that just makes me feel reassured for myself, the future of others, and all of us collectively. So, thank you.
Wonderful, yeah. No, the climate deniers aren't here. They're in Washington with me. Okay. Counselor?
Leo Robinson, Dean of the City Council. In regards to the project, it's a great project. I had an opportunity to speak at MIT about the environment, and the issue of the flooding came up about the produce center. My comment said, the produce center gets flooded, we could become the fish center. So therefore, we need to be paying attention to make sure that this project gets off the ground.
Very good. All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right, well, I think, that officially, I don't have a gavel. Where's yours? They're afraid to give me one of those. So we'll officially adjourn our roundtable here. Thank you all for your expertise. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for the insights that you've offered here today. And now we'll adjourn to the formal press conference, and you're all certainly welcome to join us there. Thank you. All right, well, good morning, everyone, and thank you again for being here in celebration of the FY22 $750,000 federal investment to advance a regional flood resilience plan to protect the cities of Chelsea and Everett. Yes, you heard that correctly, FY22. We came together at the start of our efforts to secure federal funding for this visionary project. And now we get to actually celebrate that investment, and it truly is a good day. I want to thank Chelsea City Manager Fidel Maltez, Mystic River Watershed Association, Green Roots, all of my colleagues in government at the city and state level, and former Chelsea City Manager Tom Ambrosino worked very hard on this and was our partner in putting this application together alongside Mayor DiMaria, so I do want to name him as well. Again, thank you all for joining us here today. Thank you to the cities of Chelsea and Everett for their support during the entirety of this project. I know this has been a long haul. Some people have said they've been a part of this for 3 years, 5 years. Anyone any longer than that? Yeah. How long?
2018. I was supposed to say 19.
Okay, yeah. So we thank you, for your steadfast advocacy over these many years. This project will help address the growing flood risk for frontline communities like Chelsea and Everett, which are home to diverse and thriving multicultural communities and critical food distribution and energy infrastructure. Policy is my love language. And as policymakers advance the investments necessary to make our communities more climate resilient, environmental justice must be front and center. It is policy in these budgetary investments that will make the difference in closing so many of the inequity gaps that we see persistent throughout this congressional district, but in particular in Chelsea and Everett. The consequences of climate change are intersectional. They have impacts on our public health, on our economy, and on our national security. That's why I was so proud to work closely with city officials and climate justice advocates in Chelsea and Everett to advance this necessary intersectional investment. These resources are a direct investment in our young people, our families, our communities, and our future. From Roxbury to Chinatown to Everett, to right here in Chelsea, our communities, especially those that are home to low-income people and communities of color, are the front-line communities, bearing the disproportionate brunt of the longer and more intense heat waves and threats of flooding. The Massachusetts 7th and the country simply cannot afford to wait any longer for the investments and the protections that they deserve. Now is the time to advance unprecedented, bold, transformational policies and budgets that match that, to invest in our communities, to undo decades of environmental injustice and to affirm our fundamental right to drink clean water, to breathe clean air, to live in and enjoy clean and safe communities. And as we fight for these robust, long overdue investments at the federal level, projects like these will help us save lives in the short term and help us address the impact of climate change now. So thank you to everyone here for contributing to today's success. Thank you for your expertise, your counsel, your partnership, your patience. And I eagerly anticipate our ongoing collaboration as we strive to address environmental injustice and the impact of climate change on our shared constituents in Chelsea and Everett. And now I'll hear from our leader, Chelsea City Manager Fidel Melton. And anyone else who would like to speak?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us today. We are gathered here to discuss a bold project. The Island and River flood barrier is not just about infrastructure. It is about safeguarding our future, protecting our livelihoods, and ensuring the well-being of our residents. Today, I want to share the benefits, the timeline, the finances, and the advocacy opportunities surrounding this transformative project. First and foremost, this project protects over 500 acres of vital land, currently susceptible to catastrophic coastal floods from rising sea levels and future storms. This protection encompasses not just land, but critical infrastructure supporting over 11,000 jobs and generating $7 billion in annual economic activity. This area houses the New England Produce Center, which is a lifeline for fresh produce distribution from here to southern Canada. This also protects our energy infrastructure, our educational institutions like Chelsea High School, essential services like grocery stores and hospitals, and transportation hubs such as the MBTA's Newberry to Rockport line and the Chelsea commuter rail station. This project is not about erecting walls. This is about restoration and revitalization. Over 20,000 square feet of wetland areas will be improved, and Island and River Park will be revitalized, fostering community engagement and stewardship of our riverfronts. Today, we are working to reach a 75% design by June of this year, with a target to be fully complete with our design by next spring. In the future, we aim to finalize our permits and secure funding, particularly by continuing to work with FEMA to secure our $50 million BRIC grant. Construction, which if we obtain this grant, would begin in September of 2025 and would finish by September of 2028. This will mark the culmination of years of planning and execution. Speaking of finances, the project entails an estimated cost of $66.7 million, with funding being secured from various sources. While we plan to secure our $50 million FEMA grant, we are actively pursuing a state bond earmark, which is worth $8 million, along with continuing our conversations on how do we figure out our required $9 million local match. Additionally, we are applying for a $5 million MVP grant from the state, which, if successful, would significantly alleviate the burden on our shared cities. This project is part of a larger network of regional flood resiliency initiatives along the Mystic River, and it is being facilitated by our resilient Mystic Collaborative. Partnerships with organizations like Green Roots and Myra are instrumental in connecting with our communities and ensuring that their voices are heard all along the process. In closing, I want to emphasize that this project is not about building structures. It's about building resiliency, it's about fostering community, and it is about securing our collective future. Together, let's embark on a journey that brings a safer and more sustainable tomorrow for Chelsea and for Everett. Muchas gracias.
Hi everyone, Judith Garcia, State Representative for Chelsea and Everett, and I want to start off by saying thank you to our great leader, our champion, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, a woman of impact, a woman who, the first person who heard about this project was the Congresswoman, and she committed this important investment. So today is a huge milestone for two cities, for the city of Everett, for the city of Chelsea, for the numerous nonprofits who have been working deliberately behind this project. Our city manager just outlined the timeline, the importance. This is more than structure, this is resilience. These properties, these parks are worth nothing if they are underwater. So I want to thank our Congresswoman for listening, for leading with courage and understanding the importance of bringing vital funds to this community, seed funds that can get us started and hopefully get this project continued and finished for the benefit of our community. Para los medios de comunicación latinos que están aquí, es un momento histórico para ambas ciudades, para la ciudad de Chelsea, para la ciudad de Everett. Nuestra congresista, Ayanna Pressley, es una mujer que ha liderado, que ha escuchado y que ha regresado a esta comunidad con $750,000 en fondos necesarios y vitales para la comunidad de Chelsea y Everett. Estamos emprendiendo no solo una estructura, no solo una pared para eliminar la inundación, sino lo que estamos haciendo es estamos preveniendo la eliminación de empleos, de centros tan importantes como hospitales, un centro de producción de comida que provee comida para muchísimas ciudades, incluyendo estados, incluyendo Canadá. Entonces creo que el impacto de estos fondos va más allá que crear una pared. Es un proyecto de resiliencia y es un proyecto que realmente va a detener los efectos del cambio climático que existen. Así que le agradecemos muchísimo a nuestra congresista Ayanna Pressley por liderar y por traer un poco de esos fondos que van a ayudar a complementar pues, este proyecto que va a requerir muchísimo más compromiso. Así que muchísimas gracias.
Thank you. And I do just want to take a moment in highlighting how collaborative this process has been. I do want to give, since we are in this beautiful City Council chamber, President De Jesus an opportunity if she would like to say something. And then we will close out. Aaron, would you like to say something? Okay, well, we just want to be fair to Everett, because this has been a partnership, to say a brief word, and then we'll get to the real deal while everyone's here for the check. Okay. Keep this short. Okay.
So voy a continuar en español como mi colega acá. Mi nombre es Norielis de Jesús, presidente del Consejo de Chelsea. Estoy inmensamente agradecida con nuestra congreguista. Ella cada vez que visita nuestra bella ciudad trae un cheque. Every time you visit a beautiful city, you bring a check. Y pues quería solamente, porque nuestro administrador ya dijo unas palabras y explicó qué impacto va a tener este proyecto. Quería resaltar como mamá, ¿verdad? El orgullo de saber que mis nietos en algún punto van a estar caminando por las calles de Chelsea y lo que ellos van a poder ver, right? So I just wanted to also bring up a point as a mom, right? Like what my grandchildren one day will be seeing when they walk around the city of Chelsea, what they'll be able to see, what they'll be able to enjoy. And that's huge as we talk about what we're feeling now through the impacts of environmental justice and what our future generations will feel. And lastly, jobs. We are protecting 11,000 jobs. Did I get that one?
Yes.
Yes, 11,000 jobs. Estamos protegiendo 11,000 trabajos que nuestras familias todavía están sumamente preocupadas de cómo poder darle comida a sus hijos, sumamente preocupadas de cómo van a poder pagar la renta. Este es el proyecto que tenemos que lanzar en este momento. Y siempre conectar a todos esos esfuerzos. Always connecting all of those efforts because we can't work in silos. Our family needs us to address everything cohesively. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Erin Devaney, and I'm here on behalf of Mayor DeMaria of Everett. The demand for services at the local level and on municipal leaders has only intensified since the COVID-19 pandemic. And that means that while we're focused on meeting the day-to-day needs of our residents, we rely upon leadership to help us to focus on these larger infrastructure projects that are critically important to our future. And Mayor DeMaria wants to extend his sincere appreciation to Congresswoman Pressley for her understanding and sharing of the collective vision that Everett and Chelsea have had to protect over 5,000 residents, to protect historical businesses that have invested in our community, and particularly for Everett, will help to protect the existing public infrastructure and the areas that Mayor DeMaria is relying upon for new economic development, revenue growth, and job opportunities. It's truly a pleasure when we can come together at the federal, state, and local level with private organizations and community members to advocate for what matters so dearly to our residents for their future success, and also be able to say that when we come together and we work for common good, we are able to accomplish great things. So thank you to everyone for this effort.
Wonderful. See? Perfect. So that's why we needed you. Okay. All right. Well, now we're going to get to the moment everyone's been waiting for. Now, should we have done one check for both cities? Who gets to have this? Okay. So I'm going to move in the front. Okay. You can all see it?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone come around me.